Hi, RJ. Let me explain what I mean here, what the main problem is here. And so there are a lot of content that is directly quoted from the sources, but none of these are marked as quotes. They don't have the quotation marks. So like in this case, even though you mention an author's name right here that he points out, without those quotation marks, you're telling your reader that this is your writing still, that you're just paraphrasing that author, okay? However, that is the author's words. And so you're presenting their words as your own. That, even though it's accidental, that's a case of plagiarism. I'm going down here, the same case. You mentioned Munn, but then you take his words, but you present it as if you're just simply telling the reader in your own words what this author wrote about. And here, a lot of these are, in the same case. Right here, this mentions another research, but your reader doesn't know what research, because this one doesn't even attribute this to a person or to an author or to a researcher, yet it is copied directly from the source. Additionally, the survey, again, this is unmarked. It's not marked as quote. It's not attributed to anyone, right? In those cases, that is an act of plagiarism. Anytime, even inadvertently, when a writer takes somebody else's words and puts it in their own essay, but doesn't tell your reader that this is somebody else's words, okay? So these things, all of these examples, and first of all, this is way too many quotes in the beginning. Anyway, most of this should be summary. That means put in your own words and you explaining, Garth and Fink, they write this, and then they explain this, and then they do this. Most of this should be in your own words. And so this is a lot of quoting anyway. So go back, especially, these long, when you have sentence after sentence after sentence that you are taking from the author, that's not an effective way to quote. You need to weave quote-worthy statements into your own writing rather than copy chunks of somebody else's writing and put it into your essay. Like right here, when you have paragraph 1, that's not your citation. That is this author's citation. And see, this gets into a real problem. So maybe that one is yours, but just, they shouldn't be that many quotes. So just quote the key words, and the key phrases, and summarize, put everything else in your own writing. If you do want to include a quote, if you think something the author says is quote worthy, and if you put it in your own words, it might water it down too much, then use quotes, but put them in those quotation marks on both sides before the beginning and end of the quote, and attribute the actual author so that it doesn't come across, so that you're not presenting their writing as your own original writing. So if you want to go through here and fix this and resubmit it, I'm happy to regrade it. That's fine. But as this is, with all of this, that's just not acceptable. And when you get in the upper division classes, it's going to be a real problem unless, you get out of the habit of it now. Okay. So that's what I mean. Let me know if you have any other questions. Okay.